What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a breaking news show. Actually, not actually. It is breaking news because we've signed a new player that nobody was anticipating us to sign. It is Juan Kabal from Verona. Actually, not a week ago. I think like 4-5 days ago. I think there was a report out there from Padula saying, and even Di Marcio saying that we asked for information for Kabal, but his destination, his next destination, will probably be Inter. It's just kind of a game Giuntoli is playing to kind of mess up with Inter, like he usually does the big clubs. And I think everybody took that story and was like, yeah, keep it moving. That's probably what is happening right here. We're probably not really in for the player because we had absolutely no, up to that report, we had absolutely no links to the player whatsoever. And then out of nowhere, actually, today, a couple of hours ago, the news broke that we are in for him, and like 50 minutes later, maybe later, an hour later, it was like, yeah, it's a done deal. He's joining, and it's a done deal. He will have his medicals tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, I don't know. He will have his medicals in the next coming hours, and we have a new defender. Now, before we get into who he is and what does that mean for the club and for other players as well, the deal, and still a little bit of question marks surrounding the deal, because some are reporting it's 10 plus 2, some are reporting it's 10 plus Ake. So we just need to wait and see what actually is going to be the deal. Probably the Ake deal, if it happens, will be a separate deal, but it's also good. You get him off the books. I actually forgot he was on the books. I couldn't believe he was still on the books, but he is, like a player like Frabotta who's still on the books. You need to get rid of these players, so if you do that in a deal, then good. If you do it separately, that's fine. But let's say it's 12 million euros. For 12 million euros for a player who is definitely at the beginning, let's say August the 20th is our first game. From that moment in time, he's going to be a squad player. So 12 million euros for a squad player is more than okay. We still need to build a squad. We still need to get the main targets in. I think everybody knows that, but everybody understands the situation. But you still need to build a squad. The squad is not complete, and we have a lot of holes. We have a lot of question marks. So 12 million euros for a squad player who has, I'm not going to say here a world-class ceiling, but has a decent ceiling. I think it's fine. And even if it doesn't work out, I think it's a pretty fair deal. 12 million euros with left back, right back, those situations. I think it's very difficult to get those positions in. So I wouldn't be surprised if it completely flops. How many left backs and right backs in world football actually make a transfer? If you hit on somebody, you keep him. You're not gonna let him go, because that's a very difficult position, in my opinion, to nail down in today's football. But yeah, 12 million. I think that's a good deal. That's a pretty fair deal for a player who, I'm not gonna sit here and say I've watched him play 38 times. I didn't. I absolutely did not. I watched Verona twice. When we played him, I watched Verona against Napoli at home. I watched Verona away to Milan one game. I've watched Verona play Roma at home, and that's kind of about it, unless I'm blanking out a couple of games. So that's it. Sample size extremely slim. From what I can recall. And again, not a lot. Defensively, he's a good player. He's solid defensively, and that's good. That's good. If you look up his stats, because I needed to do that, because I cannot go off 5 games, and in those 5 games, I was not even focusing on Kabal. Actually, I was focusing on opponents more so. So I don't think it's fair to go off those 5 games. If you look up the stats, again, defensively, solid, really, really, really solid. In possession, very average. Like that's just what it is. It's very average in possession. Defensively, good. Can cover a lot of space. I don't think he's a player who needs to play 1v1. Covers a lot of space. Is good in 1v1s. if it comes to that. But I don't think he's a player like Bremer who actually wants a striker really in front of him, where he can back into. But yeah, man, I think it's a solid player. It's a good deal. It's a deal that, again, you might assume the club will be doing, or Giuntoli will be doing at the end of the window. But now the opportunity came about, or they felt like we needed to do that position, and Inter are a bit, haggling on the price or whatsoever, and they saw an opportunity and they jumped on it and they kept it moving. And that was that. When the deal got announced, Julian texted me head to head basically with a couple of stats with Posh, who played for Bologna, and it was very similar, only Posh is better on the ball. That's just evident. But other than that, it was kind of like for like. So, and Posh did well. Not saying I want Posh at the club, but he was vital a little bit to what Bologna were doing. So that's that. I don't think it's a deal that you really can go mad about. I think that the deals you can go mad about are the main targets. If we don't get them in, if we overpay, if we miss out, those are the deals you probably deserve. And I will do if we miss out on these players. Go mad about. But for this type of deal, it's cheap. It's whatever. It's good. So yeah, that's the deal. Let me see. I think we don't have money and have to sell. Why we buy him now? Why we buy him for 12 million? I don't get it. Forget. You know what it is? You still need to build a squad. If Koopmeiners cost 50 mil and we are 40 mil short, the club is not going to sit there and be like, okay, let's keep the 12 million. Hopefully we'll recoup. They will just move on. They know players will leave. That's probably Giuntoli's plan, and you still need to build out a squad. You cannot sign Koopmeiners and then be like, I got my main target, forget about the rest. Let the rest just die at the back, or up front. That cannot be the case as well. So it's just wait and see. I see people going mad about, we paid 12 million. We should have kept that money for Koopmeiners or Todibo. We don't know. We might wake up tomorrow and Bremer's actually on the move. It's not actually happening. We don't know. I think this transfer window, if we learn one thing from this transfer window, even though I think Padula is very good on Juve source, even he is not, how do you want to say that? Like, certain deals like Di Gregorio came out of nowhere. Douglas Luiz came out of nowhere. Kabal came out of nowhere. Like, these deals are coming kind of out of nowhere. The Koopmeiners one is extremely evident that he's a main target, but it feels like the club is very calm and composed with that deal. And maybe they have a good reason for it, or maybe they're like, if we don't get it, we have a backup plan. I don't know, but I wouldn't be mad about, spending 12 million now that we probably might be needing further down the line. Good deal, to be fair. Also nice to see Miretti staying. I'll talk about that in a sec. Definitely one of the best defensive left backs in the real. Well, statistically, he's up there, yeah. Solid defensively, which will be a great duo with someone like Couto or Cancelo. So does that mean we are out for Todibo? I'll talk about that as well. Sorry if this was asked, but what does it mean for Cabiasso? If you guessed, again, talk about that in a sec. That's a good question. I really like Kabal for the system. If he's a high work rate and defensive, Todibo isn't linked to Kabal, of course. Now, okay, let's talk about the next one. What does it mean? What does this mean for the players at the back, basically? Now, he is left back. He can play center back. I don't think he's going to play center back. Maybe if we're actually desperate. But I think if he will play center back, it must be in a back three. That's what I think. So that's that. What does that mean for Cabiasso? He will play on the right. Like, my feeling is that it feels like he wants some sort of balance. He doesn't want all fullbacks to be very attacking minded, and he wants some sort of balance in that squad. That's what I'm assuming, So Cambiasso will play on the right hand side, and depending on how we play, because Todibo is definitely not linked to this deal. Todibo is a separate deal. That's still a main target. I think it's more between Danilo and him. If you want to compare, I'm not saying he's going to play Danilo out of the squad, by the way. It's definitely not in the beginning, but I think that's more so than Bremer, because Bremer is different profile and Todibo as well. So it's going to be that scenario, I'm assuming, Somebody said if we signed him and we have Huijsen, and we have Danilo, and Bremer, and Rugani, and Cambiasso, and Diallo, and you want to bring in Todibo, I think it's very, very obvious right now that Huijsen is completely on the move. It's very obvious that the club is kind of pushing Rugani out of the door. And then still, yet, we don't know what Diallo is going to be. Like, we actually have no clue what type of player he's going to be, if he's going to succeed, if he's going to contribute, is he going to play center back, is he going to play left back? We don't know right now. But it's true that we have a lot of players at the back. You know, if you also bring in Todibo, you need to offload of them. You still have Federico Gatti. I think I forgot about him. I listed all the defenders. I forgot about Gatti. So I don't know what Motta has in mind. I don't. If somebody tells me that there's a good chance that we still are going to sell Bremer or one of Gatti, I wouldn't say, oh, that's bullshit. I will keep that in the back of my mind, that there's a possibility that one player at the back will leave, and that's a player you were not prepared for to leave. Not because you absolutely like him, but potentially like a Gatti, but because the media suggested that, oh, these guys are not leaving, but they're still on the move. That's the vibe I'm getting. That's the feeling I have. But it's going to be interesting what he's going to do. Kabal is obviously not going to play from minute one or from match day one, so that you kind of put to the side right now. As things stand, it's going to be Danilo. It's going to be probably Cambiasso, Bremer, Gatti, something like that. And Diallo is, I don't know, surprise package. Kabal the same, and then Rugani and Huijsen on the move. But if you get Todibo in, that's the biggest question mark. Not the Kabal one. The Kabal one is a squad player. If it works out, if you play somebody out of the team, that's good. But the main thing is Todibo. What does that mean for a Gatti, who is going to go from a starter to a bench player? What does that mean for Danilo? Is he going to be benched? Because if you sign Todibo for so much money and you have Bremer, you're not really going to bench Danilo, your captain, you know? Not at the beginning. I don't think Motta's going to do that. That's why I said the Kabal one feels more like I'm going to push Danilo to the left. If it doesn't really work out or everybody can see, hey, it's not it, I'll tweak things around. That's the feeling I'm having right now. That's what I think. Because that's the only thing that makes sense. Unless he brings in Todibo and they're like, Bremer, goodbye, or whatever, you know. Other than that, it's very, not confusing, but it's very interesting. I'm going to say it's very interesting. We play a lot of games, but Danilo is your captain. And Bremer is apparently staying, so you're not really going to bench any of them from the beginning. So I don't know. It's up to him. It's up to Motta to find the right balance, to pick the right players, and you know, just trust what he's trying to do, and then we will see. I don't know, very early or very late in the season if it actually is working or it was the right decisions we have made. I can see Danilo, Bremer inside, Cambiasso, Kabal outside. Yeah, but if you sign Todibo for I don't know how many millions, you're not gonna bench him. I'm sorry. I think Danilo will be pushed more so than a Bremer. I heard Koopmeiners words. I will talk about that in a sec. Gatti, Motta likes, but I heard 30 million interest. If we need money, you could go. Gatti 30 million sounds fake, but maybe 20. I actually refuse to believe that we're being offered that type of money, because the way Giuntoli is moving or is planning to move, it will make a lot of sense for the club to sell Gatti and then bring in a Todibo. It would make a lot of sense right now. But the reporting is that they absolutely like Gatti and they want to keep him, and they're going to refuse so many offers. So I'm just a bit confused with that one. I'm not gonna lie. Rugani, Huijsen, Gatti should all leave 55, 60 million, as we will still have Bremer, Todibo likely, Diallo, Danilo, Kabal, who can play center back as well. I'm scared we still have to get a lot of players out. That's a fact. Just a basic thing with Danilo. Do you believe that he will survive new intensity trainings? Motta will always pick only informed players. There's no 0% chance Danilo survives this. If he does, I will tip my hat off. I would, you know, because then he convinced me otherwise. You know, if he succeeds and he actually plays well, then it is what it is. I want to win, so I hope he does. But I have a weird feeling that he's gonna be pushed out a little bit. Huijsen, now we need a right back. I don't get that one. I don't get that one. Excuse me. Moving on, because we're talking about defenders, and again on Kabal we will talk about that further down the line in the coming days. But talking about center backs, because somebody said obviously Todibo, the situation is what it is. It's been widely reported, not just by Italian media, also French media, English media. West Ham have an agreement with Nice. I need to lie. I think it's 35 plus bonuses, something like that. 37. I don't know. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And Nice is basically asking Todibo, we have an agreement, so kind of accept West Ham. However, Todibo has an agreement with Juve and told Nice that I want to join Juve. I know there are a lot of West Ham fans in the comments in the chat at times saying that why would he pick Juve over West Ham? If you need to ask that question, then I cannot help you, really. I cannot really offer you any help. If that's actually a real question people have in mind, why pick West Ham? Why pick Juve over West Ham? Then the problem is you. It's definitely not the player or any player making that decision. So that's what it is right now. The club wants to speed up negotiations, but again, if we don't sell players, we cannot bring in these type of players. So Sule is the one who's tipped with a move. However, no club is even close to offering what we want. There's a new offer potentially could come in and is expected. Giuntoli is nothing. It cannot work with expected bids. You cannot work with Nice and say we expect a bid for Sule for 30 million, so you can expect 30 million for Todibo. The offer needs to come in. It needs to be accepted by the player. I saw Di Marzio yesterday talking about Roma, and he wants to join Roma. They're offering 25, and they will use the will of the player. That's good, but that didn't work for Calafiori with us. I don't think Giuntoli is going to sit there and be like, oh, Sule, you want to go Roma? Fine. 10 million discount. I don't think Giuntoli is going to do that. If he does that, then it's very questionable. So it's just hoping Leicester comes in for Giuntoli. Hoping, by the way, I'm not saying I hope Sule needs to go, but Giuntoli is basically sitting there and hoping that the Leicester City offer comes in or the West Ham offer comes in for Sule, because they're also interested, and Sule will be like, okay, I accept that. That's what the game is right now for him, because forget about Milik, forget about Kostic, forget about these players. There's not even a single decent link with these players. These are players that we do not want. Now imagine other clubs if they want them, and imagine which level of clubs want these players, and imagine at which time they will make an offer. Probably in August rather than in July. You know, it's the 17th of July. There's no... Can somebody give me a good link from a good source for Kostic moving out, McKennie, Milik, who else? You know, name it. De Chilio still at the club, vibing at the club, you know. So for Giuntoli, that's kind of the situation for Todibo. Agreement in place, player wants to play for us, but right now we cannot offer the money Nice wants. If we sign him from Nice, I think it will be around 35 million. I don't think we will go above that. I think they will find an agreement on that basis as well. So it's just waiting. It's just waiting, and hopefully something pops up with the Gomez, Chesney still here, and that's the game. That's just what it is. That's why the Kabal thing came kind of out of nowhere, and it's also going to be interesting how that deal will be structured. Because I wouldn't be shocked if it will be a loan with, you know, an obligation, like an obligation, but it kicks in, and I wouldn't be shocked if it's that type of deal as well. Lots of players want Juve status, legacy, opportunities for greatness. Yeah, I don't know. Like West Ham win a Conference League and they think they are a big club. It's very strange, but it's actually laughable. I'm not gonna lie. I think it will be at least 3-4 years. I think it will be like the last 3-4 years. We won't get rid of our players, but rather our good talents like Sule, Huijsen, Barnicena, and Chiesa. I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to say. We will get rid of the players who want to leave. We want out. Damn it. We want out. But we will get rid of the players we actually want to keep because of that reason. I don't think they wanted to keep Sule. I definitely don't think they want to keep Chiesa. So I kind of disagree with that, with those two players. And with Huijsen, they can keep Huijsen. They don't need to sign Todibo, but they made the decision that they want Todibo over Huijsen. So I'm assuming they are pretty fine with selling these players. I'm not gonna lie. We can see it differently, obviously. I get that, but from the club's point of view, I think the only one they didn't plan to go out as soon as this was Barrenechea. Other than that, I think they're perfectly fine with other players you listed, to be honest. I want players who want to join our club, even if they're not Italian. Yeah, I said it many times. I don't care which nationality they have. Do you want to play for us? Are you good? Then cool. Like, cool. I want to win. If we win up top with Milik scoring 30 goals over Vlahovic, I'll back Milik over Vlahovic. I know that's definitely not going to happen, but I would, because I want to win. I don't care who scores the goals for us, who is in goal. I don't care who defends for us. If his name is Bremer or Harry Maguire. If it works, it works. Obviously, it's not going to work with Maguire, but my point is, I don't care which player we have, as long as we win and we get back to where we should be, because we've been falling off. It's been 4 years. It doesn't feel maybe like 4 years just because we won 9 in a row, but actually it's a long and poor run for the club. Way too long. I can have 2 years where you kind of drop off and you have some difficulties, but not like that. Even with difficulties, I mean like finishing second or third. But the drop off we had the last 4 years, it's unacceptable, and it's only not acceptable, but there's not been as much outrage as it should, just purely because we won 9 in a row and people are like, oh my god, that's ridiculous, and yeah, it's normal. It's normal that you drop off a little bit at times, but not like we did. That's just not normal. So I just want to get back, and that's it. Let's move on to Miretti, because that was breaking news as well. I think nobody had a clue about that one. He signed a new deal last season when Giuntoli came in. Signed a new deal again, 28. Does that mean he's going to stay at the club? Definitely not, because we signed Rugani to a new deal and we're pushing him inside. So I don't think we're going to sell Miretti, but I do think a loan is still on the board. Don't be surprised if you loan at Miretti. I saw the reports that Nicolosi is being convinced, like it's convincing Morata in training. I still think Nicolosi will be sold, and I'm 100% behind the fact that he needs to be sold. You need to cash in on Nicolosi. Good kid, good player, but you need to cash in on him and keep it moving. But Miretti can still go out on loan. He still can go out on loan. The contract situation is just more of I don't think we're going to sell him right now. I said it. I think right now, from match day 1, I think Miretti would suit Motta better than a Fagioli. That doesn't mean it will succeed, because a lot will depend on Miretti right now. But I can see if Motta keeps Miretti. I can see why. Again, it will all boil down to Miretti picking up what he left behind last season on the pitch. Getting in good situations, and then the final pass, shot, idea, whatever, execution was kind of always missing, and that would be unacceptable right now. It was unacceptable at times last season, but this season it will be absolutely unacceptable. You need to improve on that if he actually wants to, play a part in this team. He definitely needs to improve that. But yeah, like the extension is out of nowhere. I'm happy with that, because I believe in Miretti still, and I don't think there's a big risk of giving Miretti a contract. He's on peanuts wage wise. You got him for nothing because he came through your youth system, because that's what we did. And if you want to move on Miretti at one point, you're just gonna make a profit. Even if you sell him for 4 or 5 million, even completely flops, I don't see the issue right now. The only issue potentially you can see is development. If you have a Douglas Luiz and you have a Locatelli and a Thuram and a Koopmeiners you want to bring in, is it too much? Is he going to get opportunities? For Fagioli, that's probably the only issue I can really come up with. Other than that, I don't see the problems. I don't see the problem right now with that. It's just a sign of showing trust in him. So Miretti needs a loan unless we sell our wingers without replacing them, and then end up playing a 4-3-1-2. We will need 6 mids if that's the case. I see your point, and right now it feels like we are playing without wingers, so you could be right. I hope for Calafiori. Well, keep hoping. That's the only thing I have I can say, because I don't think there's any hope for that part. Or like on that front, I think Calafiori, I saw the reports today that it was quote unquote off with Arsenal. It's just they're playing the long game, and Bologna created the situation. They told the world, we're not selling to Juve no matter what, and Arsenal are the only team in. So Arsenal, like, why do we need to pay 50 million? If we are the only team in and he wants to join us, we're just gonna play the game. Like, Juve were playing the game. The only difference is we were offering less, and Bologna said, screw you. So Bologna created this situation. Are they gonna keep Calafiori? That's what Calafiori wants to say after, being agreeing terms with Juve, being hyped about that, then agreeing with Arsenal, being hyped about that, and then being told you need to come back to Bologna and I don't know, play for not so sure what. So heard Basel is the issue in the sale. Basel cannot be the issue in the sale whatsoever. I saw people saying Basel is the issue. How can Basel be the issue? They have a 50% clause, and that's it. They have no issue. It's Bologna's issue. They just want the money. Bologna are probably asking to lower that, and Basel are like, screw you guys. Why would we do that? And Basel is 100% correct. They're 100% correct. So the only issue right here is Bologna for doing that deal. They look like idiots right now. Not Basel. Basel look like geniuses right now. And they're sitting there and they're like, smooth. Like, 25 million, that's ridiculous. That's probably transfer budget for the next 3 to 4 years or so. So they are just sitting there and they're like, cool, 50 million for Calafiori, we get 25, and we have to do absolutely nothing to get that money, So let's see. They'll probably find an agreement. I think that ship is sailed. And people, hit the like button and subscribe if you're new, because we're getting close to 8,000 subscribers and also close to 40 likes on this video. So smash the like button. But yeah, that's kind of the day. It's been eventful day, especially an eventful the last couple of hours. Tomorrow also Motta's presser, I think at 2:00 Italian time, so that's going to be interesting. We'll finally get to hear from Motta for the first time. It's going to be interesting to hear what he's going to talk about, what he's going to get asked. I think, yeah, it's just going to be interesting. I think we've all been waiting for that, or me personally, I've been waiting on hearing Thiago Motta speak, hearing what he has to say, what he thinks of the club, what he thinks of certain players, what his ideas. Maybe he tells us or he gives us, small indications in terms of, I want to play with a back three, I want to play with a back four, whatever. I don't really need wingers. Maybe you get some indications from that presser, and I'm actually kind of excited for that tomorrow. I'm waiting more so on that than like a transfer news update right now. Somebody asked about Koopmeiners. Let me scroll up a little bit. Let me see if I can find that comment. I lost the comment, but I think the Atalanta CEO spoke. That was it. And he said, he basically said, and I'm going to paraphrase him, saying, sale. I don't know about any sale. We want to keep Koopmeiners, and we never said he was for sale. That's it. Again, people panicking. He's for sale because Koopmeiners made that publicly notice that he's for sale, that he wants to leave, and he has an agreement with. That's what Koopmeiners said. That there's an understanding that he can leave if an amount comes in. Obviously, he's not going to say, yeah, Koopmeiners is for sale, but we don't have an offer, because nobody offers anything for Koopmeiners. So from his position, it's just box standard answer saying, yeah, he's not for sale. He's an amazing player. Keep the value high. Like, it's only logical. If you put Giuntoli in front of a camera right now and you ask him about Chiesa, I can bet you €1,000 he's just gonna say he's part of the plans. He's out. We will be back the 20th, whatever, and then we will talk and see. But he's a key player for us. He's an Italian player. That's the answer you will get. He will not come out and say, yeah, it's out of the project. We want him out. That's just not what he's gonna say. So let's see on Koopmeiners. Let's see on Koopmeiners. We need sales. The interesting part is right now that it kind of flipped to, if we make a sale, Todibo will be the main target or the first target we go for rather than a Koopmeiners. Does that mean that they're sitting back and they're like, okay, let's fix the backline because we already signed midfielders? Or is it just strategy? A weird one, because you're going to wait even longer to move for Koopmeiners, and Atalanta's will be begin August, and he will be like, yeah, whatever. It's too late right now. We need to replace Koopmeiners. You know, if we go to Celtic for O'Reilly, they will be like, yeah, it's late August. We're not selling. Oh, you need to pay a bit more because we need to sell late, and we'll probably need to overspend for our target as well. So we just need to wait and see with that one, I guess. Wait, can Arsenal pay peanuts for Calafiori and pay a lot of money? Wait, what? I need to say, wait, can Arsenal pay peanuts for Calafiori and pay a lot of money for some random youngsters? No one will investigate it. I don't pay a lot of money for someone. I don't get what you're trying to say, I mean, to be honest. Can Arsenal pay peanuts for Calafiori and pay a lot of money for some random youngsters? No one will investigate it. Who are they linked with? Did I miss something? Are we going to get a new sponsor? We will, but I don't think anytime soon. So it's good. I'm just waiting till they release the third kit without the sponsor. But as of now, I cannot. It's not out there. Did I miss something on the Calafiori thing? Ooh, Matt Ryan to Roma. That's a good. That's a clean signing. I missed a lot of news apparently today. Let me scroll a little bit. Sam Maximan to Fenerbahce. Damn. Yeah. For me, there's a deal between clubs for don't sell good players to Juve like Calafiori and Koopmeiners. I heard Space X. I doubt it. The third kid is the best one. Inflating transfer in England to avoid FFP. Oh, to get around the clause. Maybe, could be. But there are no indications right now, are they? Adstik has been impressing in training, and we know other teams really in for Coop. Perhaps we're waiting for more sales to go through it to finalize a deal for Koopmeiners before. But a deal for Torino before we go back to Coop. Could be, but you cannot bank your hope on Adstik, right? Just based on a couple of training sessions. You see what Koopmeiners can do throughout the years. Training is different than on the pitch on a Sunday night. So, she's asking, can Arsenal pay 50 million for Giuseppe Bozo and then Calafiori 20 million? They could. Is that actually a player? And then Calafiori for 12. Yeah, they could, but that will be very dodgy. that will be insane, you know. And how things are going, even in England, that will be too obvious, right? That would be too obvious. That would be absolutely too obvious. Is it true that McKennie is linked with Everton? Yeah, I saw the links, but if he said no to Aston Villa, then why go Everton? I don't understand. If he says no to Aston Villa, Champions League football, and he says yes to relegation side the last couple of years, Everton, then I don't know. Like that would be absolutely insane. Paying massive fees for players who don't even get game time is so obvious. Oh, I agree. Kobe is ready and will make an impact immediately. Just looking at it from another perspective. Is Kabal the same style as Calafiori? Well, in possession, most definitely not. Defensively, yes. In possession, it's not even close. Right now, at this moment in time, it's not even close. Now, I looked at Calafiori's numbers before he joined Thiago Motta, like on the ball. It was still okay. It wasn't like what it was right now, but right now it's day and night between the two players. Doesn't mean Kabal can get there, but he needs to come a long way. So just wait and see. Defensively, I think he's solid. Can move, can cover a lot of space really quickly. So that's good, I guess. Maybe Saudis buy McKennie. I doubt that will happen. I really doubt that will happen. Calafiori was Italy's best player in attack club. That was crazy. Well, considering the attack, not that difficult, right? But yeah, that's kind of the recap. And we were talking about nothing was gonna happen, or I was talking about nothing is happening, and actually nothing was happening until today. So this means Huijsen is gone, right? Yeah, he's not officially gone, but I think he's on the move. Motta looks to be shaping a nice attacking squad, and I'm not surprised Bologna won't sell to Juve. Kabal is similar to Poch, just way more athletic. Yeah, I mentioned the picture you texted me. Kabal is defensively a good player. Like stat wise, is decent, And is he 21? I think he's 21, right? So he's young. He's young, and he's not gonna be thrown in the team from match day one. So I don't think there are any expectations right now. I don't think anyone has high expectations for Kabal, and that kind of works in his favor, because he has not really anything to prove, but a lot of things to gain, especially if players do not do. Oh, 23. You're right. 23 is. He has just things to. He's from 2001. It was. You just need to wait and get the opportunity. If, again, if we sign Todibo and it will be Bremer Todibo, and Danilo will be pushed to the left hand side, and he plays on the left like we all think he's gonna play, then there are opportunities for other players. Maybe Diallo, maybe Kabal, who knows? But right now, I don't think there's any expectations. I don't think he is gonna start, anytime soon. So yeah, it's all up to him right now. It's all up to him. There's no pressure, anything. He will go under the radar, especially because you also have Diallo out there, and people are probably sitting there being like, okay, you want to see what he can do before they will think about, actually, we still have Kabal, So low risk, very low risk transfer in my opinion. An interesting one, definitely an interesting one. I'm pretty okay with that. Just you'll probably see him play next week. If he will have his medical this week, he will be in training, and we'll probably see a bit of him next Friday. Who do we play again next Friday? I keep forgetting it. But next Friday we will see that backline. Actually, we will see that backline. We will see going off the players actually back in training. You will see a Diallo. You'll probably see a Kabal play. Huijsen, obviously, Rugani. So maybe you'll get some glimpses here and there. We still have a lot of work to do. One fullback and two center backs, and a center back, two wingers, Koopmeiners, and a backup striker. Do you talk about Ake and the figures the other way? Yeah, I talked about that. I completely forgot Ake was still on the team. I really did, and actually it's not really confirmed by any source. It could be, which is good. You get Ake off the books. But I just assuming, let's say it's 12 million for Kabal right now. Before they make it official, let's assume it's 12 million. The team, as I think, will still be top 4. Well, that's the bare minimum, top 4. Even if the team remained what it was, it should be top 4. He went to Switzerland? I didn't even know that. Didn't he go to Marseille? Wasn't that the last one? Or France? Was it Nice, Rennes? And I thought we sold him. When I saw Ake being linked, I was like, he's still here, like a Frabotta, or unbelievable. But these players are still at the club. Need to get rid of them all right now. Can we keep Milik as a backup striker? We can. I think if we find no other options, we will. But I think if an offer comes in, the club will offload Milik. They will definitely offload Milik. So let's wait and see. There are no offers right now. Only interest from Nice, I think, and even Bologna. I saw links with Bologna as well as Rugani, but there's no real offer. There's no team actually pushing to get Milik or whatever. So just waiting right now. The Chilio, I was like that last 7 years. The Chilio, I was like that the last 7 years. I don't understand, to be honest. I don't. But the Chilio, again, there are no links with the Chilio moving out. It's just that it feels like he's part of the furniture right now. It feels like he is just a table at the Continassa, and he's gonna be there no matter what. Like, there are no links. The club wants a fee for the Chilio. I'm just like, what fee? Is that founder's fee because somebody found a player? I don't just get rid. Just get these players out. I don't want to hear their names. I don't want to read their names on the team sheets. I just want these players all out. Arthur, just get them all out. Just get them all out. And it's not gonna be easy because these are they're not gonna bring in a lot of money. Actually, some of them might bring in absolutely nothing and will cost you money. But it's just every single summer you're sitting there and like, oh, Arthur is coming back. You still have the Chilio at the club. Just get rid if possible. Arthur, one of those players, no real offers, and it's just what are you gonna do with Arthur? And I'm not gonna blame Giuntoli for not getting rid of certain players, because he came in and he got the squad that he got. It's his job, but it's not easy. Like, how are you convincing teams to sign Arthur, or De Chilio, or even McKennie at this point? That's how it feels. Like, how are you convincing those teams and actually pay what you want for them as well? The bare minimum to break even on the books, basically. So it's not easy. It's frustrating. I get it. I'm frustrated as well because it's holding up a lot of things. But it's not easy. You cannot tell Sule join Leicester. If he's like, I'm not joining Leicester City, you still need that money. You still need to play it cool. Otherwise, it can get ugly really quickly. It will be a shame to see Chiesa leave, but if it's not in the coach's plan, then it's the best to let him go and play elsewhere. Juve need to get rid of this Deadwood and have players who fit the plan. Kabal is a weird signing, but hey, I trust the process. We're not clueless this window, so we'll know what we're doing, I guess. That's the hope. I mean, I was always shocked that Chile was on the team for years. I think even I think his mom, I think his dad, I think everybody in his family is so shocked that he's on the team. I have nothing against him, by the way. He's a good guy, but come on, that's so obvious that he shouldn't be here. Arthur is going to be alone with an option to buy, with us paying portion. I think Arthur, I think I will be absolutely shocked if Arthur will still be on the books this season. If it will be a loan and we paying, I think Giuntoli will just cut ties, even maybe take a little hit financially, but I think he's done with these players, and he needs to be done. If you need to lose out a little bit of money, just get rid. You cannot do this every single summer. But then again, financially, I don't know too much. Maybe it's more beneficial to pay part of the wages and get rid next season. But there's no guarantee right now that he's even gone the following season. So it's just frustrating with these players. I think we should be patient with our decisions on Sule and wait for options for other players. Yeah, but other players are not going to bring in that amount of money. I think that's just the point. They know what he will bring in, and they will kind of move him on. They will push him out because that's what they're trying to do. So, how old is Kabal? 23. I said 21 earlier. He's 23. He's from 2001. I got that one wrong. I thought it was from 2003. I mixed the numbers up. So 23, which is a good age. It's a good age. You still can learn a lot, especially on the ball, because he definitely needs to improve on that one. But defensively, it's promising. So, yeah. I'm going to wrap this one up, people, because I cannot waffle another hour on Kabal, because I have nothing to say on Kabal. I've not seen enough. So, it wouldn't be fair to just hype it up or break it down completely. I think it's a good deal, cheap. You cannot really do anything wrong with that. It's a squad player, no pressure. He's not going to play from game one. So, it's a lot of upside, right now. It's all on Motta and on him to take the opportunity if that opportunity comes throughout the season, So, yeah, that's it for me, people. If you haven't liked the video, subscribe to the channel. The next live show will be on Friday with Steve. We didn't do it for the last 2 weeks, but it will be back on Friday as well. So stay tuned for that. And the Colin show probably is going to be on Sunday evening this week, because I have 2 weeks off work. So it's going to be on Sunday, and then it's kind of build up to the first preseason game. It's going to be interesting, not telling whatsoever. Nobody really, the entire squad is still kind of missing. But it's going to be interesting to see, certain patterns or ideas Motta is trying to install, even if the execution is not what it should be right now. I think we're all excited for that. And tomorrow, obviously, Motta's presser, that also is going to be interesting to listen to. But yeah, that's it for me, people. Again, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you very soon.